Hello kids, welcome to today's session. This is Sweta Roy, your English master teacher at Vedantu, and today we are going to deal with the second story from two stories about flying, which is from your NCERT Class 10 book. So before moving ahead with the second session, let me go back to the first session where I asked you some questions and I have received wonderful answers from you all. So let me read out few of the answers. Like, I loved all of your responses. I really loved all of your answers and I would really love to read some of your answers. So yes, one is by Wild Kitty. I don't know what's the true name. What's the true name of this girl or boy? I don't know. Anyways, so the yes about I asked you about shoelaces, right? I asked you about whether your parents allowed you to tie your own shoelace, or always it is them. It was them who used to tie it up for you. So she's saying, she or he, I don't know. Anyways, ma'am, as you said, when I was a kid, I used to ask my parents to tie my shoelaces. Okay, but I also tried, but yes. So this girl or this student also tried. So Wild Kitty, very good. And the answers also she gave. One is answer number one. The seagull was afraid to fly because of his fear of falling. Absolutely correct. His fear over, it's not afraid dear, it should be his fear overpowered him and he thought his wings were not supporting him. Absolutely correct answer. Answer number two, the seagull's parents were coaxing him. There should be a word before coaxing, to fly, because now he will not learn to fly. Okay, that means she wants to say that if he doesn't learn to fly now, then he would never learn. Okay, and he would always be dependent on his parents for his food. His parents wanted him to learn and overcome the fear. Exactly, very good wildcat, very good wild kitty, sorry. Amazing, amazing. Morlin has also come up with a wonderful answer. His parents were forcing him to fly because he will. Okay, so he wants to say that till when his parents are going to support him, right? He has to stand on his own legs. Absolutely correct. Oh, thank you. Here's a compliment for me as well. Thank you so much, Morlin. Thank you. And the third answer that I'm going to read is from. Okay, so Akila. My mom made me learn how to tie shoelaces when I went to different schools. That is, I was in UKG. In the morning, my mom helped me to tie, but in the evening, after coming back home, my mom made me learn it. Yes, that's great. And when I got it, my mom really appreciated me a lot. Thank you, ma'am, for making me remind my childhood. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so this was Akila. And next, yeah, I'm going to read the answer of Ankit. His parents were forcing him to fly as all his siblings had already learned flying and wanted him to learn flying so that he could feed himself by catching fish. Very good. Fun once again. He has also come up with the answers. The young seagull was afraid to fly because he felt certain that his wings would never support him. Yes, he was frightened to see the sea around him. Exactly. The sea not around him, beneath him. Very good. He was afraid that he would fall down into the sea. It's by Shubhankar. Very good, Shubhankar. Excellent. And then is by Khushi. When I was first time, I was going to the school, my mother said to me, try yourself, you can do it. And she taught me, it's not teached, it's taught. Okay, Khushi, how to tie our shoelaces, and she also appreciated my efforts and I was too excited to go to school. That's great, that's great. And Molin has also come up with, my mother taught me, Molin it's taught, not teached me, how to make food. Oh, wow, you are a cook. Great. And I experienced how all mothers work hard for us. Yes, really, they do. I feel happy when I help my mother. That's great. That's great. That's great. And one more answer that I'm going to read is by Shivi. My mother can teach me how to tie my shoelace. Okay, that means she taught me. Okay, and asked me to keep practicing so that I can do it. Okay. Yes, very good, very good. So thank you all of you for your amazing answers. And now with that, we will move ahead with today's session on the second story, that is the black aeroplane. I hope you will enjoy this session as well. And before moving ahead, I would again like to remind you about the Vedantu Pro subscription. The link is there in the description box. So please check out the link and use the teacher's code SWRPRO. Okay. And to avail the discount, what you have to do is use this code and the discount price will be 2699. Follow the four simple steps. One is select grade, second is select target, and then get subscription. And finally, you need to choose your plan. So you can just give it an attempt, give it a try for 1 month. Okay, using the coupon code SWRPRO, the price is 2699. So I would really appreciate if I see you all coming in the Vedantu family, right? So I hope all of you will subscribe. You have the following features: live interactive classes by India's best master teachers, full personalized attention, full recordings of all classes along with notes, assignments, tests, and much more. And not only that, you also have complete curriculum which is in sync with your school curriculum, and all chapter-wise micro courses, complete crash course, test series, assignments, learning material, and regular performance reports. So now we will be starting with this amazing lesson, that is the Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsythe. Now, Frederick Forsythe is an English author and he is also an occasional political commentator. He is best known for his thrillers. So that also makes us apprehensive whether this story is something of a thriller, something of a sort of thriller, or it's a mysterious story containing mystery. Let's go about it. Let's see what is it all about. And now we are going to divide this session. We have already completed our first session where we discussed about his first flight. In this session, we are going to discuss about the second story, that is the Black Aeroplane. And in the third session, we are going to have the Menti quiz. So I would request all of you to go revisit the first two sessions and then come to Menti quiz. Do not do wild guesses, so that you are completely prepared with your syllabus, completely prepared with your chapter. So let's start the story. Now this is about the narrator. Now the narrator over here is also the author. Okay, so it's written in the first person narrative, right? So the speaker or the narrator or the author, whatever you call, was traveling on his old Dakota. So he was flying his old Dakota. That's aeroplane. And he was flying from where to where? From France to England to meet his family. He hoped to meet his family and have a good breakfast, English breakfast with his family. So he did not want to miss that chance. So that was his desire, and with hope in his mind, he was flying his old Dakota. Now he called the Paris control room to inform that he's going to England. And as per their reply, when he connected with the Paris control room, so they instructed him to turn the plane 12-degree west. So while he was flying, actually, everything was completely smooth. Okay, he saw the clouds after flying 150 kilometers. So already he had left Paris far behind, right? 150 kilometers behind. And the clouds were now started to become monstrous. Initially, when he started flying, everything was fine. He could see the clear sky filled with stars, and he could also see the city of Paris below. Okay, if you have taken a flight, then you can relate it how when you actually fly above in the clouds, what is the kind of feeling that you have, right? So similarly, the narrator was also enjoying his feeling of flying above, and yes, the city of Paris lying beneath him, and the sky absolutely clear and beautiful, and and he was also having the hope of the happiness because of the hope of joining his family, spending his vacation in England, right? So all these together led to his happiness. But suddenly what happened is the cloud became monstrous. And the speaker, he started to lose control. He started facing turbulence, and he started to lose his control. And also everything got disconnected. His compass stopped working. The connection with the Paris control room was also lost. He started to see huge storm clouds before him, and he was stuck in the storm. Okay, but yes, he wanted to. You can see over here that he already had left Paris far behind, and moreover, he also wanted to. He was eagerly waiting. He had this hope, and he was dreaming of almost meeting his family right in the next morning. So all these thoughts actually made him think that I'm not going to go back, right? I'm going to move. I'm going to fly through the storm clouds, even though it was huge risk, right? So because of the great storm and the kind of turbulence that he was facing, he was completely rotating, he was completely twisting and turning in his plane because of the constant turbulence that he was facing because of the storm clouds. Okay. Now the question that I need you to answer right away, and yes, remember the answers I'm going to read in the Menti session. Okay. So please come up with your answers in the comment section and in the chat box. Okay? So the question is, I'll take the risk. What is the risk, and why does the narrator take the risk? Very important for your exam as well. Okay? So please make sure to attempt this question, and it is very easy. I already have explained. If you couldn't, then please go back again, just recap and watch it, and then definitely you will be able to answer. Next, what happens is, inside the clouds, he could not see anything because it was dark and stormy, right? It was pitch black. When he took out his compass to check the directions, he also saw that his compass had completely stopped working. The speaker also lost his connection. He tried to connect with the Paris control room, but he completely lost his connection. So therefore, he became devastated, and he also was in a very terrible position. He was in a crisis position, and I would like to remind all of you that this position of crisis is almost equivalent to the first story that we read, right? And to remind you again, this is a similarity, since the title itself says two stories about flying, right? So both the stories are about flight. One is about the seagull's first flight, and the next is about this narrator who was flying his old Dakota, and it is about the black aeroplane, which has not yet come, right? So let's see what is the story with the black aeroplane. Okay. So remember, in the first story, the young seagull, when he actually took his first leap, first plunge, what happened was he was completely going down. So that was his crisis position, right? But how did he overcome that was a message, actually conveyed a message to all the readers. Similarly, here also we are seeing that the narrator is in a position of crisis, right? He became hopeless, he became helpless. Just then, when the speaker thought his life came to an end, yes, of course, try to empathize with him, try to put yourself in his place and think, if you are faced with a similar situation, obviously you would be terrified, right? So he also thought that my life is now going to end. But then, at that very moment, he spotted a black aeroplane which was flying next to him. Now, this was quite a mysterious event for the narrator. Why? First of all, from where did this aeroplane come in this huge storm? Suddenly, out of nowhere, from where did this aeroplane come, right? So that was the first mysterious event that took place. The second was the fact that the black aeroplane did not have any light on its wings, right? This was the second mysterious event. Then what happened? The pilot of the black aeroplane waved to the speaker, that is the narrator, okay, and he asked him to follow the black aeroplane. Now, this man, this narrator, was stuck in a very difficult situation. He is unable to, cross the storm alone. He is not in that position. He was terrified, right? He was in a crisis situation. So at that point, he really needed a companion because he was all alone. And when you are all alone in a difficult situation, you actually become anxious. You actually become too terrified, right? You become very puzzled. Your mind stops working. So at that time, if you get someone's support, get a helping hand out of get a helping hand from someone, obviously you would hold the person's hand, right? So what happened? Same was with the narrator. The speaker obediently followed the black aeroplane. And another mysterious event that happened with him was the fact that he realized that he had only fuel left for 10 to 15 minutes. But he flew for half an hour. How was that possible? That is again a very mysterious event, right? And finally, after an hour still flying through the clouds, Dakota shifted to its last gas tank. That means he was losing his fuel, right? The speaker was again frightened. Suddenly, he came out of the clouds. And after flying through the clouds, he suddenly came out of the clouds because now he was thinking that I'm going to lose my life because my fuel is also over, right? And when he came out of the clouds, he saw two straight lines in front of him. What was that? It was the runway. Now, what's a runway? All of you know, I believe, that it is a place where the planes land and from where the planes take off, right? So finally, he was safe. Now, question time. Describe the narrator's experience as he flew the aeroplane into the storm. Very important question. All of you should try and attempt this question. Please do comment in the comment section. We will be discussing the answer in the Menti section, okay? Menti session. Finally, he landed on the runway. Now, the question is, why does the narrator say, I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota? So, when he landed, the narrator said that I walked away from the old Dakota, but I was not sorry to walk away. Now, my question is, why did he say that he was not sorry? Very easy question. Use your common sense, try to understand the story, and then to attempt this answer. Now, after landing in the runway, he went straight away to the woman in the control room because he wanted to thank the pilot of the black narrator. After all, it was because of him that his life is saved, right? So he wanted to show his gratitude. He wanted to thank that narrator. But when he went there, first of all, he did not see any black aeroplane there. Then he moved to the woman of the control room and he asked her regarding the black aeroplane. But the lady said there was no aeroplane. In the radar, I could see only one plane and that was yours. Now the speaker was extremely puzzled. He did not know who helped him. Right. So the question still remains, who actually helped the narrator? So this is the question that you have to answer. I'm not going to reveal this. This is an open-ended story, and this adds to another level of mystery in the story because there was no black aeroplane. Okay, so the very title, the black aeroplane, at the end negates the presence of any black aeroplane, right? So please do try to analyze the story and try to think about it. Actually, it was who you think that helped the narrator to reach safely, and that's the question which is the most important question from today's session, and I would really appreciate if you attempt this. And we are going to discuss this answer in the third session, which is going to be the mentee session. Okay, guys? And the next question is, what made the woman in the control center look at the narrator strangely? And next is, how is the story a mystery? So I already explained to you all about all the mysterious events that took place in the story, right? First of all, the very title, the black aeroplane, it actually gives us it lends an air of mystery around us. What black aeroplane? First of all, the color black is itself surrounded by something mysterious. Anyway, right? So whenever we read the title, The Black Aeroplane, we are almost curious to know about what is all about the black aeroplane, right? So the entire story revolves around this mysterious event, that who was the other pilot, and till the end, the mystery is not solved. And the story remains open-ended, open to your interpretation. Okay, and yes, you need to talk about what are the events that happened, right, when he was flying from from France to England. Initially, the clouds were absolutely clear, but suddenly there was huge storm, huge mountains of black clouds started to be, visible to the narrator, and he lost all his control. So at that point of time, there was a mysterious event that took place. I told you about the mysterious event. First event was out of nowhere. Suddenly a black aeroplane emerged. Second is it did not have any lights on its wings. Third is the pilot asked him to follow, right? And he had no other choice but follow. Next is when he was almost flying through the clouds, he realized that he had fuel only left for 10 to 15 minutes of flight. However, he flew for half an hour. That is also another mystery, right? And then he landed safely. And then when he tried to show his gratitude to the person who helped him in flying through the clouds, he did not see any black aeroplane landed over there. And then, out of his curiosity, he went and asked the woman in the control room, and she also looked at the narrator strangely. What is he talking about? There was no other plane other than the narrator's plane in the radar. So that all these elements contribute to the story being a mysterious story filled with mystery. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and now your doubts are absolutely clear. Whatever doubts still remain, whatever answer you still can't, whatever question you still are unable to answer, we will take those questions up. You can enter your doubts in the comment section, and we will take up those doubts in the mentee session. And yes, please do comment, and please don't forget to hit the like button, and do subscribe to this channel so that we can try our best to solve all your doubts, try our best to solve all your problems, and you face no other problem, and your entire preparation for the board exam is complete with our series. So yes, if you want to do that, please do subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. See you again in the next session.